Did you know that the Access Media has already been given access? Well, that's what they're for, right? To the first 25 minutes of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? And did you know that the response to that has not gone according to plans? Disney now scrambling, media outlets lying, and today we're trying to bring all of it to you. It's a great day. It's a groovy day. Folks, welcome back to Somewhere Sunny USA. The studio is glistening because you're listening to what we have to say. And truth, with a capital T, it's on the way. Today, we're looking at the fact that, oopsies, apparently there was a script given out to some of the influencers to put out on their social media accounts about the Mandalorian and Grogu, and we may have caught them green-handed. Yeah, a lot of green being passed around these days, if you know what I mean. What? Come on, pro. It's speculation, maybe. But folks, it's not speculative that you can help this video go out to everybody by clicking that like button. Subscribe if you're not one of the many lives already dedicated to the channel. And folks, this one's for you. Let's dive in deep into a PR blunder for Mando and the rest of the Lucasfilm crew. Well, the Mandalorian and Grogu previews have not gone the way that Disney was hoping for. So it's cleanup time. And how? Well, by lying, of course. Chris Gore, who never does that, not a single fib has escaped this man's lips, at least not since he was 5, says, really looking forward to this one. Hashtag The Mandalorian, The Mandalorian Grogu, IMAX, and you can see that Chris Gore, back on May 4th, had shown up for the IMAX special look event, right? This is where they showed 30 minutes of the 2 hours. There he is, having a good time, getting ready for it. You, too, can scan to listen to Ludwig Göransson's wonderful soundtrack. I'm sure it's great. You can see the pictures he took there. But that's not really the story. The story is, if we go down, MK Solid says, how was the movie? Should we go out and buy the toys? I do like those Remnant Empire designs. And to all of that, Chris Gore responds, meh. Andrew Mark Cram says, I hope the tickets weren't overpriced. Chris says, they were free. Chris is not allowed to give an in-depth analysis based on what you have to do to get to go see the thing. But he's playing it, I think, the way that says to everybody, it's not great, Bob. James Greeby writing this over in Inverse, I saw the Mandalorian and Grogu preview footage and the trailers are lying. It says, is this more than a big screen TV show? There's a cheer inside the Los Angeles IMAX theater before the sneak preview of the first 25 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu even begins. The Star Wars fans in the audience of this May the 4th event recognized a special guest's hat. Dave Filoni, Mr. Cowboy Hat, head of Lucasfilm, has made an appearance promising the audience that we're in for will have one heck of a ride. He goes on and introduces the Jon Favreau directed movie, and it talks about the stuff. It says in the early sequence, some footage you've already seen is there. That's how it begins. Not with the classic Star Wars text crawl, but with static yellow text explaining Mando and Grogu. Here we go. He's got to eliminate the AT-ATs. You've already seen this too, okay? You've already seen this.
Bro,
it says,
I have to say, even with you reading this, Pro, I feel like my eyes glazing over. It's not you. It's the article.
I'm the same. I feel like I should put on a different voice just to make it even more interesting than not. It says, maybe that's just because the real stakes are about to come and this is just the cold open. That's a term that originated on the small screen, referring to an attention-grabbing sequence that comes before the opening titles. For many, that's really the Mandalorian and Grogu's biggest hurdle. Is this the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, or is it a supersized episode of a TV show on the biggest screen? And does that distinction matter? And basically, folks, this article out of Inverse, the argument is, well, Sigourney Weaver's in it and she wouldn't do a TV show. Seriously, that's what it is. It goes on and talks about, he goes and meets Mr. Hutt here, Mr. Big Hutt, Stinky they call him, Rada. And that's the 25 minutes that you get to see.
A Hutt with a six-pack.
I hadn't noticed that. You're right. That is, I'm not even sure why a Hutt would have a six-pack.
Oh, I called it. I said, I bet you the Rada the Hutt scene is in the very beginning of the movie.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. So it says, at least based on these first 25 minutes, it seems like The Mandalorian and Grogu is trying to be more than a TV show. What a bar to set. Though it's unclear if it's ambitious enough to seem on par with the episodic films. It's a ride for Star Wars fans who want to see Mando look cool and Grogu look cute. So far, mission accomplished. Are there more surprises? Okay, hold on a second. The mission is, it's a ride for Star Wars fans who want to see Mando look cool and Grogu look cute. Okay, just so everybody knows. Although the headline is eye-catching for dramatic, effect. The trailers are lying. The conclusion of this review of the first 25 minutes is, if you want something where Mando looks cool and Grogu is cute, they did it. That's how far they could go.
Mark my words. You know how like the Hollywood shill access media critics, they like to, inflate these big studio movies a lot. There will be inflation on this film like you have never seen before. This is going to get universal praise from the Grace Randolphs of the world and all the Rotten Tomatoes. I have called it. I said it's going to be at least a 96% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I can't wait to write this review because I know I usually keep them like under 2,000 words, and I know I'm going to go way above that. I know I am.
The bottom line here is that in the first 25 minutes, the best Chris Gore can do is say, meh.
Meh.
And the best that the article from Inverse can do is say, Mando's cool and Grogu's cute. So mission accomplished, I guess.
And it just seems like they're playing it as safe as they possibly can. Like they're so afraid to offend anybody anymore, which is kind of funny because that seems like that they were all, that's what they were trying to do the entire time. Now they're just like, let's give them something simple.
At least when Firefly had to end everything with a movie, they were just trying to wrap up the story because, the show got canceled. This feels like, again, it's watching the IP that we watched, like kind of like doing its final like death flare.
Well, here's the thing about it. So the marketing team at Lucasfilm and Disney decided, okay, how do we get people really jived about this? What do we do? And what they came up with was, okay, the first 25 minutes, let's play that. Now, if the first 25 minutes is so bad that we've got meh and yeah, Mando's cool and Grogu's cute, like if that is the best we've got in the first 25 minutes, I think this is a horrible sign for the quality of the movie. Like, this is the best. Disney decided they could have picked any 25 minutes. They could have said, you know what, we're going to leave the beginning out because we don't want to ruin the beginning for you. Here, we're going to skip ahead to 20 minutes. Here are the best scenes, right, from the middle of the movie. They could have done that. They didn't. This might be the best they have. It may be downhill after that. And so what that has done is I don't think Disney was prepared for this kind of a response. And so we're getting this from Bam Smack Pow. Maywish Mahmood. The first reactions to The Mandalorian and Grogu are here, and they are unexpected. Despite all the doubts, the initial reactions to The Mandalorian and Grogu's first 30 minutes of footage are positive. Well, how about that? We just read two things that are not positive, okay?
Maybe we can't read, Pro.
Nobody's allowed to say anything specifically.
Well, let's see what they're citing, okay? Because Bam Smack Pow, Maywish Mahmood may want to get in with Disney and get invited to these premieres in the future. I don't know. Maybe that's a step too far.
I love this.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
So who are they citing? Star Wars Holocron is one of two sources they're going to cite here as the evidence that, you can't believe it. It's great. Here's what Star Wars Holocron says, which definitely has no possible reason to say good things to get invited back to future events with Star Wars. We just watched the first 25 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu in IMAX and are blown away by what we saw. Cinematic, epic scale that demands to be seen on the big screen. Ludwig Göransson's music gave us goosebumps. Had smiles on our faces the entire time watching the footage.
Can I get the check they get? Like, whatever they're getting paid to, like, say this, like, can you send it my way?
Blown away, Carol.
They have smiles on their faces the entire time because they're holding gift bags that are probably contain hundreds of dollars worth of.
Yeah, like that check that they got. Like, make sure you say nice things, right? Like, I don't know how many zeros are on there, but yeah.
They literally did the meme. They've done the meme. Like, this is literally the most cookie cutter comment you can make about anything. They didn't even try to make it a little more creative.
So what about the other?
Star Wars Holocron is one of the biggest shill, Twitter accounts out there.
So here we go. This is Yoko Higuchi. This is the other source they've got. We got to watch the first 25 minutes of Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian and Grogu in IMAX on this May the 4th, and it was such a great treat. And let's just look at this. So we added IMAX. Did we do that in this other one? No, okay. They didn't, but they're both very interested in let you know that it was on IMAX. We got to watch the first 25 minutes, Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian and Grogu in IMAX on this May the 4th, and it was such a treat. Already a whole lot of fun. The film looks way better on this huge screen, and especially when the aspect ratio expands to the full 1.43. All right, we got to watch the first 25 minutes of Jon Favreau's Mandalorian and Grogu. We just watched the first 25 minutes of the Mandalorian and Grogu in IMAX. All caps on the Mandalorian and Grogu, all caps on IMAX. Yep. Somebody gave them this.
Oh, I love it when you have
Betcha.
a script.
Yep. Bet you money that it's a script.
Again, I'll
So-
take that money. I couldn't get bought and bribed. I'm just saying.
Yep. And that's it. That's it, folks. They found two people that it almost, I mean, surely this is a script. It's got to be. All caps, the Mandalorian Grogu and IMAX with essentially the same first sentence. Good job, Yoko. Good
What was
job,
that
Star
last
Wars
movie?
hologram.
What was
You
the
earned your
last movie
cupcake.
where they were all saying the same thing? Was it like Captain Marvel, or it was like a movie? Maybe if it wasn't Captain Marvel, it was one after that where like everybody reviewing it was saying like the exact same thing, like no original thought involved at all. That's what this feels like.
No, it was Captain America.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like
Brave New World.
It was like literally there was like 3 or 4 points in the talk, and like everybody hit all the points,
Oh.
and they, like unnaturally, it was insane. It was like 40 or 50
I
different.
mean, if you're
reviewers.
gonna pay people off, make it look like you're not.
And so this is the thing. The article writer at Bam Pow, Whoosh Wham, whatever it is, doesn't realize when they put those two, like that's the two they could find. They don't realize it's the exact same thing in the first sentence. They didn't even occur to, what's the name again? Hang on a second. Who's this author? It is, because Carol just loves it. Maywish Mahmood.
Oh,
Maybe
I love
wishing
that
they
name.
had separated those out farther. Listen, we get a Star Wars guru that would like to join us right now. So, folks, please welcome aboard the one, the only.
Now, commence Operation Vacuum Suck.
It's Lorne.
Yeah.
We can high five again.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Nope.
No one's saying.
He doesn't know. He can't see, but he's muted. Same system error we had in the past. Look, the sorrow the man feels. It's StreamYard, I tell you.
Trying to say, don't tell him. I wanted to see how long we can let this go for.
Normally I wouldn't, but in this case, he's not muted in StreamYard. It's a separate system issue.
Oh,
So, Lauren, we'll bring you back in just a second, folks. He's fixing it right now. StreamYard issues all the time. All right, so
In the back, there's like a chicken with a wire cutter.
poor chickens. For those who don't know, Lauren loves chickens, as in he devours them. So, guys, this is the best.
Insane.
This is the best that Disney has right now. They have two, probably almost definitely scripted tweets, and that's what we're running with, and that's what the media is running with to save Star Wars. This is not working out for them. Your thoughts on it?
I mean, we all know this is going to be universally beloved by every Access Media show critic. I think that I don't think it's going to be offensively bad. I think it's going to be historically meh.
meh.
And I think that you're going to get an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes that's going to be somewhere in the 70s, possibly low 80s, but I think 70s is probably a good bet. Critic list, I could see it getting around 50% decent.
IGN gives it a 10.
IGN gives it a 7 out of 10, probably.
Lauren,
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you can.
What?
Marv.
Screw you, Marv. I just want to say, can we not review the movie until we've seen it? I get.
I'm not reviewing it. I'm saying the 25 minutes and what they're saying about it seems to have been written in a script.
Yeah, that part is true. But I also think that you're getting a lot of people saying that it's meh because they have shown that first 25 minutes. And they've been showing parts of that first 25 minutes for the last month. We've all seen bits and pieces of the last 25 minutes. We can put the major things about it together.
So that's a huge mistake then, though, Lauren. I think that's the story, is this is a marketing mistake to show this movie to this extent already. They shouldn't have done this.
Yes, but put yourself in the mind of them, okay? We told them.
Oh dear.
Nope, just let me finish. The best trailer they had for this movie is the one they didn't release. It was the one they showed at Celebration last year that leaked. Why they never released that trailer, I'll never understand. The first trailer they put out was boring. The second trailer they put out was boring. Then they did the Super Bowl ad spot that they thought was going to be clever, and they got ripped to shreds for not putting out a decent trailer. So then they waited forever and then finally put out a real trailer, and at that point they started putting out everything that they could because we complained they hadn't given us anything. And now we're complaining that Well, we've seen the first 25 minutes. What do you want them to do? At a certain point, you've got to judge the movie on its merits. Everybody is mad at Lucasfilm and Disney and Star Wars because they haven't gotten what they wanted. They have been yelled at and had everything thrown at them. And I understand as a Star Wars fan, but we're jumping on a bandwagon because everybody is mad at Star Wars.
Well,
wait for the movie to come out.
I'd like to interject. I am not going to apologize for flinching after they punched me in the face for the last 14 years. You know, but I agree. I will always judge it on its merits because, you know, it could be like The Sheep Detectives or, you know, a few other movies. I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but there's ones where you're like, oh man, I did not give that a fair shake, but I always judge it within the realm of when it comes out. But, you know, this is conjecture and we got to go off of what they're giving us, and they're not giving us much. You always, when you market, you go with your best foot forward. And if this is your best foot forward, it's kind of looking not very promising. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad and that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to ignore it and just deal with it. But it's going to be, this feels to me like it's going to be a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, my kids liked it, kind of, you know, it's just going to be a very simple movie.
And honestly, that's what I'm expecting too. I don't expect this thing to set the world on fire, but I also think that we've gotten into such an adversarial position that we're not letting them do anything at this point. I can understand from their side why they're looking at this and going, we have no idea what to do now. We don't know what will possibly make you happy. Yeah, right, they did earn it. I agree with you. But if this is if we're just going to retreat to our corners, we're never going to get anything. At this point, you may as well just stop.
I'm just saying they've shown their hand multiple times, and it's the same play. It's just if it's good, I will definitely rate it properly. I always do. I do not go in with my preconceptions and then let it affect my review. I always try to give it some time to settle to review it. And I understand a lot of people do that, but Disney has earned that kind of response from people, and if it happens, that's their fault. So.
Yes, but I also think it depends on who are you calling they, because we've got a complete different leadership now at Disney, and Kathleen is gone.
We don't. This is like the first year of a football team that you just inherited. If you're on year 3 and they're still pulling this crap, then it's like, okay, year 3 or 4. But they just pulled the eject lever on KK. So
yeah,
and all her people are still there. Lewin Brennan is her disciple, and we don't know if Filoni has been acting on her orders for all this time, or if this is legitimately what Filoni likes. I lean more toward this is more legitimately what Filoni likes, just based on his other work. But so that's going to be, you know, that's going to be the whole thing, is if we're going to get something new.
Let me ask Lauren an important question here, Lauren. And you include whatever you wanted to say back at that as well. But what would you say is the over/under? Because I just had to eat crow. I don't know if you saw this.
Mm-hmm, I did.
Yeah, I declared.
I would say you had to more eat mutton than eat crow.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Not.
Nice
that would be
thin.
killing the stars.
I was such a bigot when it came to sheep that I thought when I saw the Sheep Detectives trailer it was going to be terrible. And everybody tells me it's actually not just even a good movie. It's a great family movie, and I need to go see it and pay my comeuppance for it. So, Lauren, what do you think the chance is that this movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, gives me a similar situation where I kind of been ripping the marketing of it. I've kind of been ripping the trailer. I've been ripping. I know, folks, it's ripping lots of things, but. What if I go in and I have to eat crow, Lauren? What's the over/under? What percentage chance would you give it that it's actually a pretty darn good Star Wars movie and we just didn't know it?
I think I'd put it this way. I don't expect it to be a good movie, and understand that the movie was made while Kathleen was still present and Filoni is likely in charge of it. My personal guess is it's going to be better than season 3. Okay? That's the way that I would put it. I know, but better than season 3 is an improvement. We are
better
seeing
than Boba Fett.
I suspect so. We are seeing that they are attempting to pivot. That's why I'm willing to give them a little additional leeway right now, is because, as we have already reported, we know that the top Disney brass went and had a conversation with them just a couple of weeks ago. That's not a small thing. We know that Filoni was having a meeting with Favreau. I think is it this week that was happening, or was that last week?
No, it's this week.
Okay, this week. So they know that there's a problem. I'm not saying it's fixed. What I'm saying is if they are taking steps to try and improve the situation, we've got to give them the opportunity to take those steps. It's like you've got to give them a little bit of breathing room to hopefully course correct in some way. That doesn't mean that if the movie comes out and it's a stinker, you don't say that it's a stinker. But I think it's unfair to call it a stinker before we've seen it. I understand the marketing has been terrible for this movie. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that they've made some huge mistakes in the marketing of it. But I suspect they understand they have stepped in it big time. I think they understand now how badly they've stepped in it, and they're in an awful position to try and fix it. It's going to be...
But with Lucasfilm filled with Kathleen Kennedy sycophants who have no interest, I mean, they resent, I think, the audience. So they resent the position they're in, most of them at Lucasfilm. But the leadership is different, right? So the leadership at Disney, at least, with tomorrow, we presume that they realize this is not sustainable. Like, you just from a money standpoint, they can't keep going forward. Mo, I'll give you the last word on this one. Your thoughts on The Mandalorian and the marketing for it leading up. Is it indicative of the movie we're going to get, or maybe Jon Favreau pulls a rabbit out of his hat?
Well, I believe it feels like it's playing it safe. The marketing is going that way. It doesn't seem offensive, which is a step in the right direction. And I'll address what Lauren said, and to tie it back to something I said earlier in this episode, which is, as long as it's trending the right direction, I'll be happy. It doesn't mean I'm going to say it's a good movie, but if I notice things that are showing that they're trying to right the ship, which just short of getting rid of the sequel trilogy or like kind of leaving that behind, I don't know. But I would say if it trends the right direction, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that I would like the movie. But if I see things that are getting fixed and getting addressed, that would give me a little bit of hope. And I am going to watch it and I will rate it properly. And I will look, man, I am to take it into Star Trek. I hated everything Kurtzman, but when Picard season 3 came out, I loved it. And I was a bit pensive at first, but I gave it its due and I ended up loving it. Like, seriously, bought the soundtrack and everything. So I will be fair, but I also am smart enough to realize that I've been getting tricked for the last 9 years at least. Yep. So it's, yeah. So, but yeah, we have our biases. It's true, but we will see how it goes. And I'm looking for something very middle of the road, 70%.
I think 70 is probably the top end. I would say 65 to 70 probably. I think I think they know they got a problem, and it's going to be a massive lift against a vacuum to try and move things the way that they need to go to satisfy the audience. But I see tons of evidence behind the scenes that they are attempting. And that's more than we ever got in the last 10 years. They're not calling us a vocal minority anymore. And that's another important start.
Boy, that's an important thing. And when's the last time, folks, you heard of the fandom menace in terms of being mocked? I don't think that's happening anymore.
You know, we really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.